What's up, Super Playaz? It's your host, Tony G, bringing you another market watch. And I know I've been missing the last two market watches because of work and because I got really sick. And so I'm back and here to drop this awesome video for you guys. And if you like these type of videos, definitely smash that like button, comment down below, and be subscribed for more awesome market watches. And obviously, we're going to start off with the expansion deck coming out in a month, or in, I think, this month, if I'm not mistaken. It should tell us right here when the release date is. I was mistaken. It's next month. So the expansion deck, the leader, Goku Black, coming back from the grave, and it got rebooted, and it's pretty awesome. I think I definitely recommend checking out the singles that are coming out in this set. This is going for $39.65 pre-order. It may be cheaper in my honest opinion, but I think it's totally worth it in my because you get a booster pack and you get some awesome gold stamp cards. I think Bandai is starting to move forward to bringing more gold stamp foil type of cards, I'm guessing, because I'm starting to notice this trend that they're giving more foiling, more gold foiling to their cards. So I think it's pretty cool, but of course there's no listings for these cards just yet. And just like in the title of the video, it's the most expensive card, the new most expensive card in Dragon Ball Super card game, and it's going to be SS3 Son Goku at stake Ghost Rare. I think this card is one of the most sought out cards, and it's the most expensive card that has come out thus far in this game from a booster box, of course. And so this card's sitting anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000. I mean, here we have the highest listing of $4,850, but again, the most expensive, $10,000 being the highest and $4,850 being the cheapest. But I have seen this card being sold for $3 grand. So, I mean, definitely check out the Facebook pages, the Majin Buu Candy Shop, and the TCG auction page. I don't think anyone's auctioning this just yet, but I have seen people try to sell this, and I think ballparking it was anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 at that time. But now it's, again, TCG player tends to inflate the prices a little bit, and of course sitting at $4,850 being the cheapest and the most expensive, 10 grand. So as of now, this may be one of the most expensive cards, or it is the most expensive card in any set that's come out yet. So I wanted to showcase that because last time I don't think I mentioned it because there was no listings, but now we do. So now we go on to the next one. Is Power Absorb Collector Booster Box. Is still considered the most expensive booster box thus far that's come out recently, and of course 630 being the cheapest and 1200 being the most expensive. And again, we have Tournament of Power being one of the most expensive booster boxes, and this is slowly catching up to that. So I think this may be the second most expensive booster box in this game, with the exception of Tournament of Power. But let's keep going. So as of now, we've been seeing a lot of regionals happen, or a lot of regionals did happen this past weekend, and we definitely want to check out some cards. Of course, I just want to mention some other ones because I didn't see these last time I did a market watch, so I'll show it to you guys, and some cards that were topping at this event, or archetypes. And so we have Golden Cooler Radiant Pride Alternative Art Secret Rare from Power Absorb. Another great card, sitting at $575, $599, $599, $600, and $3 grand, almost $3 grand, being the most expensive, $2,499. So this card is amazing. I think a lot of people are utilizing it. Very powerful card, and very underrated. And then we go on to the next one. You Are Number One Alternative Art Power Absorb, sitting at $1,300. I mean, some of these were sitting at like $500 relatively, and I think this is pretty high for this card. Collector purposes, looks amazing. I believe it's awesome, but I don't think it should be sitting at $1,333. I mean, if that's the price they want to set it at, that good for them, you know. I mean, by all means, but I would definitely be careful paying that much. But roughly, I see this card being like anywhere between $500 to $750. But then we go on to the next one. Is Android 21 Transcendent Predator. This is one of the most sought out SCRs from the set, and just in general, because it's utilized in almost every blue and green deck that obviously is an Android 21, but it could be splashed into those decks, making it a little bit more versatile in some decks. Obviously, this this card is amazing because not only that, its skill gives you back 2 lives, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. And this is the alternative art sitting at 1.1, 1.2, 1.5, 2 grand, and almost hitting $5,000. Very awesome card. And then we go on to the next one is Android 21 Ceaseless Despair, another great card that we saw from this set. And again, if you want the SR variants, they're significantly cheaper. They're like $4 or $5. But if you wanted to get the SPR, you're sitting at $10 to get one. But again, Android 21 made a huge presence in in the American regional, and I think overseas we saw a lot of Sin, we saw Go Tanks. I mean, we saw a bunch of crazy powerhouse decks just take off this time around, and very awesome. I think this is relatively cheap if you want to get it. If you want a collector, if you're a collector, you could get this. And then obviously we're going to be talking about some of these cards that are silver foiling and regular variants of the card. Again, this was from the Power Absorb Collector Booster Box, I think, the alternative art ones. And then you get silver foiling in those, which is pretty awesome. But again, another great utilized card from Android 21. Utilized a lot, averaging $7 to $8 to get this. Again, if you want to get the normal version of it, you're sitting at pennies, if that. And then we got the next card, or the next big powerhouse deck that pretty much took over a lot of events, which was Omega Shenron Unfeeling Retribution SPR Dawn of the Z Legends. This card is relatively cheap. If you're trying to build the Sin Shenron deck, I recommend it. It's one of the most powerful decks out there still. Red is still probably the strongest, or the strongest color right now. And sitting at $4, $5. And again, a great card to have and a great cheap deck to build if you're trying to play competitively. Sin Shenron is probably the one that would get you the farthest, in my opinion. And then we obviously want to talk about the sleeper deck that came out of nowhere, which was SS4 Gogeta. A lot of people forgot about this leader and these battle cards, and it's still a powerful deck. I mean, if you weren't expecting it, expect it. It still has the biggest hand power advantage in almost any deck, and it just does a lot for so little, and it keeps you alive. So another great card, sitting at 368 and being the most expensive, being $5, and just goes a little bit higher than that afterwards. But again, another great deck if you want to build. Red, it's not too expensive, very cheap, and still one of the best decks to build. And then we go on to the SS4 Gogeta Power Connection, another great unison card that people forgot about. And if you weren't prepared for it, this card was just going to take advantage of it, where you play a red cost, that's one cost, and you play it in rest mode, which is very powerful. Another great card that people didn't expect, and it's slowly going back up again, being relatively expensive. It was sitting at $12, now it's sitting at $15, and yeah, so it's getting a little bit more expensive. And again, if you guys are a part of the groups, definitely join the discussion group and I believe the auction page. I'm trying to find it for you guys. There it is, or the Majin Buu Candy Shop. This is where I get some of my other pricing guidelines, I guess you could say, because I relatively look at this and what it's sold for last and what people are trying to get rid of it for. So there you guys have it. From your host, Tony G. Definitely smash that like button, comment down below, and be subscribed for more awesome Market Mondays. And again, sorry for the delay. I was sick and out of town for work. So there you guys have it. And like we always say, y'all stay Supah.